on spook-ventures with Parker.
I bid thee rise, Lord gods above! The hour of haunt hath arrived!
What do you mean it's arrived? You imbecile! Be gone! Let the spook-ventures begin! Every year it's the same thing with those mortals. One day they'll learn some respect. At least I got rid of that witch before she could pester me even more.
He sacked me! The Haunt Lord had sacked me! Witchtilda the Wicked! And after everything I've done for him, gathering the ingredients, casting the spell, and in this economy, does that fool not appreciate how much a vial of golden shards goes for these days? I'll exact my revenge in due time, and I know just how to do it. Gods above can have Halloween haunts, but this land shall be mine! Once I figure out where in Satan's horde hell I am. You there! Nerdy hobgoblin in the cargo shorts. What dost thou call this realm?
Oh, dude, this is Cedar Point! Only the best amusement park in the entire—
Oh, that's nice, dearie, but no one cares. Now, Cedar Point, you shall be—
Miss?
What?
Don't you want to hear my credit count?
Absolutely not! No one does, dearie. Now why don't you hop along? Alright, where were we? Oh yes, Cedar Point! My name's Witchtilda! What's yours? I cast a spell on you, and now you're... Cobwebs. Alright, where were we?
The moon hangs silently in a pitch-black sky.
Who said that?
Ghosts sigh in a lonesome agony. Vampires shriek in madness and rage. Horrid creatures awaken from their slumber.
What? Are you supposed to be Elvis or something?
I am the wind that rustles through the leaves. I am the voices that whisper in the darkest corners of your mind. I am the palpitations of your heart as it seizes in fear. I am the very definition of fright. I am Mr. Midnight!
Wow, that's very poetic of you, Mr. Moonlight, but I was in the middle of introducing a vlog, so if you could just...
In this realm, I summon the screams, for I am the king of Halloween!
You're going to zap me, aren't you? Ha! You fool! You have no power over me!
Let's now commence our evening of fright. You're here in the presence of Mr. Midnight. Mazes, shows, and scare zones all in. It's time to let this spook-venture begin!
Good day, everyone, and welcome to Adventures with Parker. Today we are back at Cedar Point for my first visit of the season to HalloWeekends. Now, HalloWeekends is really cool, and I like it because it combines the haunt aspect that you get at other parks with more of a general fall festival. So it's not two different admissions, it's kind of all rolled into one event, and it is so much fun. I went last year a couple times, and it's probably one of my favorite haunt events that I've been to be honest. It is that good. Of course, there's some new things this year. I know there's a new maze themed around Mr. Midnight, who is the icon of the event. There's a new scare zone over by the Gemini Midway, and of course there's new food offerings. So I'm just ready to be here, get spooky. And okay, something I really love about HalloWeekends, and I alluded to this in the intro, is that it's not just a haunt event. They also do kind of like a general fall fest kind of thing, and it's just kind of cute and fun, and I like that. Like, I love the horror stuff obviously, but it doesn't have to be all horror all the time. Hot tip number one for visiting HalloWeekends: if your party consists of all adults who don't care about the children's activities during the daytime, consider coming on a Thursday. The park opens a little later, but it is so quiet and you can get a lot done. This is a tip that I learned from last year. Now, the only catch is, like I said, the children's activities like in Kitty Kingdom and Sandusky and all those areas, they're not happening on Thursdays. And I believe there's a couple rides that won't be open, but it's nothing major. And I mean, the benefits definitely outweigh missing a few coasters here and there. The other thing to note is that if you are a Platinum Pass holder, you can get in the park a little bit early for early ride times, which I didn't know about. I didn't even consider that there might be early entry for HalloWeekends. So yeah, that was nice. I got to beat the rest of the main crowd, and I got a ride on Gatekeeper, got to go around, take some photos. And yeah, it was a really good way to start the day. Alrighty, so I love what Cedar Point did with the Boardwalk, or should I say, the Bonewalk. I mean, of course, they did that area a complete facelift for this season, but for HalloWeekends, they moved all of the Skellies over there. And the Skellies were one of my favorite parts from visiting HalloWeekends last year, so it was great to see them again. They look great in the area, and yeah, it's just kind of nice that, I don't know, just something about the Boardwalk is really fun, and to add a bit of a spooky twist with it just elevates it that much more for me. When I was over there, I also got to ride Wild Mouse for my second time. I haven't been on it since opening day because the lines are usually crazy, and when I went on it for opening day, that was a 2-hour wait, and I knew what I was getting into, but I feel like I couldn't enjoy it as much as I should have, if that makes sense, just because of the waiting and because it's really not that impressive of a ride. So this is kind of like a Wild Mouse redemption ride for me. And it's fun, it's cute. I mean, it is what it is. It's not meant to be this big, you know, iconic coaster, but it is something that Cedar Point was really needing. And if you don't have to wait for it, it's that much more fun. So before I do anything else today, my priority right now is to get some food because I've been putting it off all day so I can drive and get here early. But now I'm paying the price because I'm super hungry. But anyways, I saw on the app that Chickies and Pizza's open, which I didn't think it was for HalloWeekends, but the app said it was open, so I was really excited. So I walked over there and it's not. So the app's still on there. And I'm sad because I was looking forward to getting a cheesesteak. However, I'm not too far away from Hugo's Italian Kitchen, and I haven't been in there before, and they do offer an Oktoberfest pizza, which sounds pretty good, so maybe this is a good opportunity to try that out. But the teas with Chickies and Pete's, Cedar Point, you can't do this to me, come on. All right, we are documenting my first time inside Hugo's Italian Kitchen. All right, so like I said, I went into Hugo's to try the Oktoberfest pizza, which is a pizza made with smoked kielbasa, mashed potatoes, sauerkraut, cheddar cheese, and caraway seeds. It was pretty good overall. It had a bit of a different texture, and I think that was mostly due to the mashed potatoes, but everything went together pretty well, so I think it was a good choice. My only gripe with this is that it isn't available on the dining plan, and this seems to be true for most of Cedar Point's specialty HalloWeekends and fall offerings, which is unfortunate, especially when you compare it to a park like Canada's Wonderland, where all of those special things are included on the dining plan. And as we'll see later in the night, it kind of deterred me from trying anything unique and special. I was kind of forced to stick with the plain, simple options because that's what was free for me. That said, I'm glad I did splurge on one thing, but yeah, I wish I could have tried out more throughout the night. Despite the fact that earlier in the video I was hyping up visiting the park on Thursdays, there is a bit of a sacrifice when doing that, and that is they don't run any of the shows on Thursdays. I think the only one they do is the new show in the Killer Clownz area, but there's no opening ceremonies, there's no show at Lusty Lil's, there's no Telltale Heart show, there's no Midnight Syndicate. And for someone like me who really values the theatrical components of Haunt, I'm a little disappointed by that, especially because they were running them last year on Thursdays, because I think both of my visits were on Thursdays, and they definitely had the shows then, so I don't know why they changed it up for this year. But it sucks. Especially because I really wanted to see the Midnight Syndicate show this year, and now I'm not sure if I will because I don't know if I'll get a chance to come back to HalloWeekends this season. This might be my only visit, so yeah, it's unfortunate. But you know what? We're gonna do what we always do when we're faced with these kinds of situations. We're gonna make the most of it, because I guess if I don't need to wait around for shows, that gives me more time to experience the haunts, do the coasters. So yeah, we're still gonna have a great night. Just now I need to plot and scheme and see if there's any wiggle room in my schedule to come on a Saturday or Sunday. Cedar Downs has got to be like the most charming ride in the entire park. It is so cute, but so fun. I mean, it's such a unique ride too. I actually can't think of another example of a carousel that uses that floor-mounted racing systems. And I mean, you have the audio of the announcer, and it goes faster than you think it would too. Like, we're at the top speed there, and I mean, it's not a terribly fast ride, obviously, but I'm like, if I let go, I could fly off of those things. So yeah, it's so fun. If you've never done it, do yourself a favor and ride it. It's so good.
Maybe I should just have some yogurt. Thinking of all this food has made me tired. Are you scared? It's okay. It will all be over soon. Oh, my stomach hurts. I feel sloshing. I think I overdosed on candy and puppies. Mostly puppies. Something caught my throat. I think it's a trick-or-treater.
Alright, so a fan favorite here at HalloWeekends is of course the Graveyard of Defunct attractions. And this was previously located under the Skyliner, where the kind of fall themed gardens are now. But now it's over here underneath a corkscrew. So let's take a look and see what kind of Easter eggs you can spot. And here we can see some of the progress on the new spike for Top Thrill 2. And it's already looking pretty big. Okay, here's something I haven't heard a lot of people talk about in regards to this new ride. Look at how quickly it gets from horizontal to vertical. I mean, the forces you're gonna feel on that incline. Oh man, I'm so ready for it. I'm so excited for this ride. I'm geeking out. I really am. It's kind of crazy to see how much progress they've been making on the ride already, especially considering that the last time I was here was before they even officially announced what was happening with Dragster. I think I visited just a couple days before announcement day, so yeah, to see that the spike is already going vertical is crazy. I fall in love with Magnum XL 200 more and more every single time I ride it. It is such a fun coaster. Maybe a little janky, I'll admit it, but it's so freaking fun. And like I said, every time I go on it, I just seem to love it more than I did the last time. I've been on it twice so far today. The other fun thing about riding Magnum tonight is that normally they have some lights on that last tunnel, and they're really cool. They create a really neat effect, but I guess for HalloWeekends, they turn those lights off, so you're in pitch darkness for that last tunnel, and like you hear all these noises. I haven't noticed any noises before, so they might be part of normal operation, but they sound kind of monstrous and weird, and yeah, it's just a cool time.
And speaking about things that are monstrous, it is 1 minute to 8 o'clock now, which is perfect timing because we're about to walk through the Gemini Midway where we'll find our first scare zone of the night. Alrighty, so this new scare zone is Clownz Death Metal Tour. And as the name suggests, there's evil clowns everywhere and a new rock show as well.
What are you looking at? Huh? You! What are you looking at?
Yeah, you do! You have an heirloom, you have a house, you have all that. Sell it and give it to me. Right?
Hello. Woo!
Hey, you want some Seagrams? I got you. I got you.
Don't fail me at the dance too. Come on. No, what am I? See? Do you see what I have to do with on a nightly basis? Every day the same stinking thing.
Here, feel this noise.
Jesus.
Gingivitis.
Gingivitis? Oh
Yeah.
no. Cannot
I
die.
will give it to you for free.
Well, I got a show to put on here. I need stage hands. I need lighting technicians. Let's go.
Gonna be late. Come on. Gonna be late.
What's out of the time?
Hey, up here.
What does that make up that hideously?
Premature thrashing or pushing aloud. We want you all in peak prime condition for what's to come. So please do not touch the animals. They are filthy. That's you. You're the animals.
I'm filthy! I'm filthy! I'm filthy! I'm filthy!
Sit back. Iron birds of fortune adrift above the skies. Cloudy revelations unto thine naked eyes. Instruments of destruction leave you. I know, so sad. We would have nothing more than to stay here and squeeze the life out of each and every one of you. But, alas, there are nightmares to induce, children to scar, and bleeding hearts to entertain. But we will see you again. Maybe under your bed. Perhaps even in your closet. For if there's darkness, we'll find a way. We'll be there, watching you. I am a clown who walks alone. And when I'm walking down the road at night or strolling through the park, when the lights begin to change, I sometimes feel a little strange, a little anxious when it's dark. Fear of the dark. Fear of the dark. I have a constant fear that something's always near. Run your fingers down the wall. Have you felt your neck skin crawl as you're searching for the light? Sometimes when you're scared to take a look in the corner of the room, you sense there's something watching you. Fear of the dark. Fear of the dark. I have a constant fear that something's always near. Everyone, fear of the Thank you, Cedar Point. We are Bloodbath Rock. For start of base. Smash of the drums. Slice on lead guitar. Hang time sketch. Kill you later.
Okay, my review of this scare zone. It's good. I wasn't sure if I'd like it as much, but it's actually so well done. And the scare actors, they come for you. They show no mercy. But it's so much fun. And the show that they do there as well, it really ties together the whole land. It is so fun. And the fact that they're like performing live, I mean, talent, oh my god. But yeah, overall, I'm such a big fan of this. This was such a great addition. And now I just need to like relax and let my heart rate settle a bit. Alrighty, moving on to our second scare zone of the night. Frontier Town has been taken over, and for HalloWeekends, it becomes Tombstone Terror-tory. And this one's really cool because they really play up like the spooky Western vibes. It works really well, especially with all the fog and just like, I don't know, the lore of it all.
If you survive, you'll have new appreciation for your meager existence. If not, then you'll be lost in the darkness forever.
Howdy! Howdy!
Howdy.
Okay, so I think it's about time that we do our first maze of the night. So we're gonna head over here where we can do Bloodbath, which was the maze they introduced last year. And of course, this will also be a good opportunity to do Steel Vengeance. Okay, so Bloodbath was pretty good. And listen, I know we've established that I'm jumpy. That is a fact. That's well known. But these mazes here at Cedar Point, I don't know what it is, but they just get to me more so than like the ones back in my Kiddo's Wonderland. So, oh, it's so good. And okay, Bloodbath I really like because it reminds me a lot of Club Blood, which is a maze that used to be at Wonderland. I think Cedar Point had a version of it as well. Pretty sure all the Cedar Fair ones have had some version of it. But yeah, it's very reminiscent of that. Like, you know, it kind of lures you to this false sense of security. Like, oh, it's a club, it's a party. But then as you go through it, everything just becomes creepier and creepier and more dilapidated. And at one point, like, I don't know, it looks like you're in the basement of the club. They do a really good job with it. And that's another thing I really love about the mazes here at Cedar Point. They really go all in with the sets. Like, there's very few dead spaces. There were a few, I noticed, but not as many as other haunts that I've been to. The other thing is, I believe they've extended this maze compared to last year. It just seemed longer than I remember. Mind you, it's been, you know, a hot minute, but overall, first maze of the night, it was good. Alrighty, so I did have plans to ride Steel Vengeance, but given that the line is a little crazy right now, and I really want to make sure that I get to hit up all of the mazes and scare zones, I'm gonna skip it. I might circle back around to it, hopefully, but yeah, for now I have other priorities. Hello! Oh, I didn't like that. So while we're here, we will do Throat Cove. This is a HalloWeekends classic. And this scare zone is cool because it feels more like a maze than a scare zone, but because it's outdoors and Cedar Point classifies all of their outdoor haunts as scare zones, I can film and show you what horrors wait within. Never mind, I was actually informed that I could not film within the Throat Cove scare zone. I'm not sure if that's going to carry over to Cornstalkers or Blood on the Bayou, but that's different from last year. I mean, obviously it's not like a big deal, like it's kind of fun to enjoy the maze without having the camera, of course, but yeah, just I was expecting to be able to film, and you're not. That aside, Throat Cove is so much fun. It is a great scare zone. They have some really neat sets back there. And let's talk about the costuming, because the way, like, some of the characters that they have in there are so highly detailed. They really do a number on the scare actors' faces, and like obviously add the period pieces as well. So I was admiring those characters so hard while also screaming and running away from them. And I somehow managed to walk right by Mr. Midnight. So the thing about Halloweenends is that they really pack a lot of their haunt attractions in the back of the park. So while we're here in Frontier Town, we also have to do the Fairground Freak Show maze, which is right here by Maverick. Alrighty, so Fearground Freak Show was fun. I didn't notice any differences compared to last year, but it is a great maze. Like, it's got some really nice sets in there, some really detailed props and things like that. So it's a very visually stunning maze. Now on this go around, I didn't find that I got a lot of the scares. I felt like they were really focused more on the group in front of me, which again, it happens. It's kind of the roll of the dice when it comes to these haunt mazes. But other than that, it was a good time. Alrighty, so the night is going by way faster than I'd like it to. It's already 9:30 and the park closes at midnight, which means, and I guess I have 2.5 hours on. But still, I can't help but feel like the clock is ticking, but I do want to get on one of the two iconic coasters, and since we're skipping over Steel Vengeance for now, I gotta do Maverick while we're here. So let's head on in and ride. All right, so Maverick was amazing as usual. I mean, despite the fact that I've been on so many different roller coasters this summer, Maverick is still one of my faves. It's probably my number 2 or number 3 coaster still. I mean, Wildcats Revenge has taken over the number 1 spot, but it's so good. And especially at night, and especially during a HalloWeekends night, because you get all the fog from Throat Cove rising up, so you're kind of like going through it when you're in those turns, and oh, it's just so fun. It's so atmospheric. Now, I have made some decisions. So it's 9:50. We have 2 hours and 10 minutes before the park closes, which is more time than I was thinking I had. Like, I think I was kind of selling myself short on how much time we had until close. So I got to thinking, I would be really disappointed if I left this park without doing Still Vengeance. Yes, I've done it before, but it's one of those ones that I have to do every single time, no matter what. And I don't want to come all the way back here again once I leave this area, so I'm gonna suck it up. I'm gonna hop in line. We're gonna do Still Vengeance now, and yeah. Like I said, I would be so mad if I missed it. The other thing to consider is that even though I said in my Canada's Wonderland haunt vlog that I don't make coasters a priority during haunt nights, that's only true for like Wonderland, where it's my home park and I can do coasters anytime. Here at Cedar Point, the coasters are my priority. I only get here a couple times each year, and yes, I do try to claim that it's my second home park, and I am doing this visit as a day trip technically, but you know what? I gotta take advantage of being able to do these rides when I can, so yeah, here we are in Still Vengeance's queue. Yeah, that's my long-winded way of saying, to heck with it, we will wait it out. And you know what? The line is a lot shorter than it was when I was around here earlier, so maybe leaving the queue and coming back now was the right move, because it looks like we might get a walk on? We're at least gonna be walking up to the lockers, so that's good. So, I just walked on to Still Vengeance. To be specific, I walked on it twice. I don't know what happened to that line I saw earlier, but they gone. But yeah, I got my Still Vengeance fix and I can go home happy. Well, you know, after we do the other haunt attractions, of course. Alrighty, before I move on, I wanted to grab a quick little meal here. I was gonna say a quick little snack, but I guess it's an entire dinner. But I got some chili, some chicken tenders, and of course it comes with a biscuit. I mean, none of this is special for the haunt menu, but the chili, there is an option to get it as a chili bread bowl, but that isn't on the dining plan, and the chili itself, without the bowl, is. So, you know, that's the option we took there. But yeah, this should tide me over for the rest of the night. All right, so I had to go back up to get some sauces for my chicken tenders. I got barbecue and seemingly ranch. If you know, you know. All right, moving on to the next scare zone of the night, which is Cornstalkers 2.0, which is hidden away way back here in the Thunder Canyon Trough. Now, this is like one of the most horrifying haunt experiences I've ever done. It's very similar to Cornstalkers at Canada's Wonderland, except this one really makes you feel like you're way out in the middle of the farmer's field. It is very chilling, and like you have these moments where you feel like you're all by yourself, all alone, and it is the worst and best feeling ever. So Cornstalkers might just be one of the best haunt experiences I've ever done. And I mean, it's literally just corn. Like, that's all the set is, but they really make you feel like you're way out in the middle of a farmer's field. Somehow, it started off as a conga line, like everyone just bunched up together. And I don't know how it happened, but I somehow ended up all by myself again. Like, there's a group in front of me and a group behind me, and somehow I was stuck in the middle. You can't see anyone. There's so much fog in there. There's parts where you literally can't see what's in front of you, and you cannot see the scare actors coming. Like, they are hidden so well in the corn stalks. They caught me good so many times. It was incredible. But yeah, going through that maze by yourself, I don't know, there's something, it does something to you psychologically. I don't know how I got through that one. But yeah, before I can even calm my heart rate down, we're already in line for the next maze, which is the Slaughterhouse. And I remember this one last year being very gory. And to be honest, I'm a little squeamish, so this one is another one that gets me. Why am I like this? Like, I'm jumpy and squeamish, and yet I love going to these haunt things. What is wrong with me? So, the Slaughterhouse was just as gory as I remember it. You know what? There weren't a lot of jump scares in that one. There was a few, but it was more atmospheric than anything. You know, it was the set really doing most of the work. And I mean, it's a great set. It's pretty immersive. I love how they weave you in between like shelving, and you see like the chunks of meat, for lack of a better descriptor, but it really does immerse you into the story of that maze. They do a really great job at that. Oh my god! Oh my oh my god, I didn't think there was anything on this trail. As I was saying, they actually get you at the very end. I'm not going to spoil the surprise, but that's... Oh my god.
Got you.
You did. Okay, so I didn't think there was any scare zones over here on the Frontier Trail, but they do have like some sliders back here, and I mean, it's still very atmospheric, even if it isn't, you know, an official scare zone. Very cool. This is a nice surprise, a terrifying surprise, but a nice one. Anyways, I kept losing my train of thought there, but what I was going to say is that the biggest scare of the maze actually comes at the end. I'm not going to spoil the surprise, but you know, when you go outside a maze, you think you're done. You think you're safe, you think it's fine, and you can just go about your way, but no, that is where they get you with the big one. So, again, not going to spoil anything, but beware. Also, as you may have noticed, I am intentionally skipping over Blood on the Bayou, even though it's a scare zone that I really love, and that's really well done. We're down to 1 hour left of park operation, and I really want to make sure that I do the Haunting of Erie Estate and the new maze for this year, Midnight. So yeah, we're gonna skip over Blood on the Bayou and head straight to those houses and finish off the night with them. Okay, so I did decide to make a pit stop over here at Iron Dragon, and that's mostly so I can check out the progress on this Top Thrill 2 spike. Look at that, like that is actually a pretty cool view of it across the lagoon here. But look at how massive it is already, and it's not even like a third of the way up. Not even a quarter of the way up, actually. Oh, this thing is gonna be so huge when it's done. I'm so excited. So I was about to get on Iron Dragon so I could get a closer look at Top Thrill 2. I mean, that was honestly my sole reason for jumping on it while I was passing by. But then it started raining and they had to close it down. So yeah, I guess even in a light sprinkle, they can't run that one. So I didn't know that. Good to know, I guess. Alright, so we just did the Haunting of Erie Estate, which was my favorite maze from last year, and it's still holding up pretty good. It is, honestly, like, Cedar Point does take all of their mazes to the next level in terms of set design. I mean, at least from a regional park perspective. So, yeah, there's just so much detail in there, and for that maze, they did a lot with the lighting and with the some of the audio cues. So one of the parts that really stuck out to me was this hallway where it was pitch black and there was just the occasional strobes. You could barely see where you were going, and of course that's a great opportunity for the actors to pop out at you. And that maze was fun because even though I didn't get a lot of the scares, there's this group of 3 girls in front of me and they got every single one. Their reactions were priceless, and then we were about 2/3 of the way in and they got jump scared so bad that they just started running off down the hallway. Like I ended up seeing them at the very end, but they were like several rooms ahead of the rest of the group. It was hilarious, and it really made my night. And finally, it is time for our last maze of the night, and that is Midnights, which is new for this year. And I know the maze is based off of Mr. Midnight, which, as I said earlier, is the icon of HalloWeekends. But I find it funny because the last time I was at HalloWeekends was the same night that Taylor Swift dropped her album Midnights. So it's like, Easter egg. But yeah, I'm really excited for this one. Mr. Midnights, his whole deal is that he is all types of fear. And because he represents all types of fear, it's really hard to pin down exactly what this maze will be about. I've heard theories where it might kind of cover different types of phobias, but you know what? We're about to find out real soon.
thieves become our stage. Your minds will fill with images.
What did I just experience? That was good. That was really good. That was amazing. But I need to do that again. I can't process that. That was great. Yeah, I need to do it again before I find more cohesive words. I'll be right back.
My phone actually ran out of storage after that, but it kind of works out because it gave me some time to actually gather my thoughts into something a little more intelligible. But yes, Midnight might just be one of the best haunt mazes that I've ever experienced. The story and theme of the maze is somewhat abstract, which makes sense because so is Mr. Midnight. Although the maze had a very distinctive style, using lots of blacks and whites and presenting a very gothic meets steampunk aesthetic, each room took on a theme of their own. One featured a bunch of mirrors, one was a dollhouse type room, you know, things like that. Some unique effects were also used here, including a hallway that blasted puffs of air at your feet, a spinning tunnel, and some cool audio effects where you'd hear Mr. Midnight's poetic ramblings over the speakers. The characters were also very well designed, and each one either came directly from the opening Scaramonies show or appeared as if they fit that universe. Of course, the climax of the maze was the room where you got to meet Mr. Midnight himself. And oh my god, was that moment so freaking cool. They had him hooked up to a microphone as well, so you could hear him very clearly, and you got some great guest interactions with him. Cedar Point clearly put a lot of effort and money into this maze, and it honestly transcended anything that I've seen from a regional park haunt before. Like, this was more in line with the quality you'd expect from Halloween Horror Nights at Universal. Anyways, that was the perfect way to cap off my visit to HalloWeekends 2023, which overall was a great visit. I mean, I love this event so much, and as much as I appreciate Halloween Haunt at Canada's Wonderland, Cedar Point just takes their haunt event above and beyond. I'm surprised people don't talk about it as much as some of the other big theme park haunts, because I really do believe that it deserves a spot among some of the other big players. Now, as I said, with the exception of Butchers of Rock, the park doesn't run any of their shows on Thursdays, and their absence was very noticeable. As great of a time as I had that night, my visit just didn't feel complete without them. That's just me though. I know lots of people who attend haunts who don't really care for the shows, so if that's you, Thursdays are still gonna be the best time to visit. But for me, it just wasn't the same, and I wish I could have gone on a different day so I could have seen them. I also noticed that the witches who heckle you from the balcony didn't come back this year, and that's sad too because they were a ton of fun. The new additions were excellent though, and I think both Clownz and Midnight were my favorite parts of the night. But yeah, that's going to do it for this adventure to HalloWeekends 2023. Unfortunately, I don't think I'll be returning to Cedar Point for the rest of the year, but I will be back next season. Of course, I'm very excited for Top Thrill 2, but in the meantime, for more adventures from theme parks, attractions, and beyond, please consider becoming a subscriber. You can also find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Threads at ADBParker, and on TikTok and Facebook at Adventures with Parker. As always, big shout out to my patrons for going above and beyond in supporting the channel. And if you would like to learn more about how to support me with a monthly donation in exchange for some sweet perks and bonus content, you can learn more by visiting patreon.com/ADBParker. Oh, and if you want to rep AWP in style while you're out on your own adventures, check out my merch store, Adventure Outpost, which you can find at awpmerch.myspreadshop.com. Once again, thank you so much for joining me, and until next time, the spook-ventures are calling!